Hello, welcome to my channel. Allison Appreciates. I hope you'll appreciate with me. And the three things to discuss are abundance. We're going to look at failure again from a Neville Goddard perspective because I think it's super important to come back to it again and again. And then we're going to talk about the power of autosuggestion. So Neville Goddard talks about this a lot, obviously. Napoleon Hill has some of that. Joseph Murphy for sure does. So we're just going to take a quick look at these three topics. I'm just going to adjust something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Trying a new setup. I'm trying to rock that natural light, you know. So when it comes to abundance, it's not always where we think it is. It's everywhere, okay? When you think about the air you breathe, who pays for that? When you think about the work your lungs do without your express knowledge, they do that all by themselves. Who tells them to do that? It's amazing. Our lungs are literally amazing. When we think about our relationship with trees, grass, plants, they take our carbon dioxide that is hard on the environment and they provide oxygen. So they run on our waste, and their waste is like our lifeblood. So I think it's a pretty cool relationship. That's an abundant relationship, and nobody pays for that. So that is one reason why going for an abundance walk, which I did for a long time, that helped me pay off 2 credit cards, was so helpful because it is all about focus. So I was focusing on my abundance that wasn't about my bank account. And what it was about was, where is the abundance that is not related to dollars? Oh, my heart pumps all day, every day for my entire life without asking for anything. Like, that's abundance. That's a lot of work that gorgeous heart does of ours. It's pretty cool. So it's not something to take lightly. And if we can thank it every day, you know, it would go a long way for feeling healthier, feeling more free, feeling more calm, just to be present for those things that we don't have to pay for. Going back to the analogy with the symbiotic relationship with the plants, that's abundance. But in general, when you go outside, or you're inside your house, or you're in a building, you know, there's air there. There's air present for you to breathe. Who pays for that? That's just there. So being alive is your birthright. It doesn't matter how you got here or what happened before you decide you want to feel your abundance. Everything is now, right? So if we want to feel our abundance and spend time with our abundance right now, we can only benefit. And by living from the clarity of our example of that abundant benefit, we can share with others how to become abundant as well, just by living with the clarity of our example. Some people aren't ready to hear it. That's okay. They are where they are, and it's okay. It's okay to be where you are. Everyone is always doing the best they can from where they are, whether they realize that or not, right? Some people are in fight or flight, and so therefore they've got their dukes up, right? They're ready to push you away at any sign of conflict or anything that, you know, hits them the wrong way that they can't process. And so we have to view them with compassion if we want to feel good, because attacking them back doesn't feel good. Really doesn't. So when it comes to abundance, we're going to go back to our core concept for today. It's everywhere. So we can take it out of the focus on the bank account and what we don't have, and we can focus on what we do have, because where your attention goes, energy grows. Where your attention goes, those thoughts start to gather momentum. And like Abraham Hicks talks about, the 17 seconds rule, you know, if you can hold a positive thought completely for 17 seconds, another positive thought that is like it will join it, which is where law of attraction comes from, right? Like attracts like. So we can have a good feeling thought. We can hold on to it. We can hold on to it for 17 seconds and feel how good that thought feels. Maybe even before that 17 seconds is over, another great feeling thought will join it, right? And as we snowball, as I sometimes talk about, with these thoughts, that snowball gets bigger, right? And of course, this goes both ways, but why look at that way right now? We're looking at the abundant way. We're looking at more abundance. We're looking at allowing more in, right? So I encourage you to take an abundance walk, even if it's just around your block, and find things to appreciate. This body I live in, these steps I'm able to take, this parasympathetic nervous system that is soothing me right now, that is enhancing my ability to enjoy my time on this planet. Now, when it comes to focusing on lack too much, obviously failure can be involved there. So we're going to transition now. And that's okay, because failure is never complete. It's never ending. It is just a moment. It's temporary, and you get to make a decision what you want to focus on next. You don't have to be in fear. You don't have to be in a woe is me and a holding on to that failure really tightly, like a tight grasp. Don't have to make it your identity. I've certainly been there where I have made it my identity. Oh, I can't do anything right. I'm never going to get through this. So I'm never going to learn this, etc., etc. That's okay. That's okay. That's where I was. That's where I was. But anytime we're going through this, I'll toss an Abe concept, an Abraham Hicks concept into the mix. When we know what we don't want, we know really strongly what we do want. Really strongly what we do want. So we want to focus on that. What is it what we do want? And it's okay to focus on what you want. It's about when people talk about, oh, well, you can't focus on what you want because that means this. When you're focusing on what you want and it doesn't feel good, you're not focusing on what you want. You're focusing on not thinking you can have what you want, right? That would go towards, what it feels like to feel failure and not be able to come away from it or forward to it or forward from it. But what we can do with failure always, and take some practice, but you can do this. I certainly made it something that I did and I do, so you can do it. So when failure happens, it is data, it is information. We can observe the failure. We do not have to take it on as part of our identity. We do not have to decide that that's the end of the conversation or the end of the story, right? Jesus said we end in success, right? We are successful. So let's just start acting like you're successful right now, right? This is data. Without any kind of failure, nobody would learn anything. Nobody would grow. Without failure, think about it this way, we wouldn't be eternal. You have to expand somehow. So it's just data. It's just data, and you don't have to let it define you. You can use it to make jumping off points. You can use it to tell you what's next. And what's next is a regrouping, an analysis of data. Let's analyze this data. Let's have some fun with data. Let's have a little look at this data. Let's make a song out of looking at data. Let's make something out of what this experience has taught us. Oh, that interview didn't go so well. Did I prepare? Did I search some ideas for popular interview questions and practice in front of the mirror or with a friend? Did I do any of that? Or did I just worry about it for 24 hours before I had it? I've done both ways. So when it comes to failure, it's temporary because it's an opportunity to refocus. It's an opportunity to say, okay. You know what I was doing? I wasn't looking at this in a way that I was excited about the result. I was maybe dreading the result, or maybe I was scared of the result. I had emotions that I hadn't looked at and moved through. I just kept them inside my body. I didn't look at them and then talk myself up out of them, right? I didn't look at them and go, oh, okay, this is my emotional guidance system telling me something. This is my emotional guidance system telling me that Right now I'm not feeling like feeling good is my birthright. So I've got a little bit of something to do. I've got a little bit of work to do. I've got to go, as Abe would say, general with my thoughts. I've got to find the lighter way to look at this. I've got to gentle this for myself. I have to soothe myself, because when we feel bad, Abraham said this a couple years ago and it never left me, and I'm sure they've said it before that as well, but there was one Abraham Now seminar. So they do these online seminars that they started during the pandemic. They still do now, which are fantastic. I love them. And, if it doesn't feel good, it's a lie. So if we're not feeling good enough, well, that's a lie, because we're good enough. We just are. We're good enough. So failure is data. It's important data. And it's not something that you need to feel bad about. And that will lead us into our last topic of autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is a great way to feel good, to be general in your thoughts in a good feeling way, to prepare yourself for your day. Much like affirmations, autosuggestions are ones that you kind of get down in your spirit by, you not necessarily have to believe them when you first start. You just have to be repetitive with them and consistent and persistent with them. Remember, it's the key is all about consistency and persistence, right? If we persist, it will harden into fact. And autosuggestion can help you do that. Lately, I've been thinking about and saying it out loud to you guys. I will be adding timers to make sure I do my autosuggestions 3 times a day, just for a few minutes. But it feels good to be consistent and persistent. The more persistent we are, the more natural it feels to feel good. The more natural it feels to get what we want. And since what we want is our birthright, and we just have to show up as the person who has it now to have it, autosuggestion is a great tool to help you work towards that natural feeling. So you can do this. This is super easy. I love autosuggestions. And because they do go hand in hand with affirmations, you can start using affirmations as autosuggestions if you want. So a big one for me has been since last March is I am strong. I am in my fullest of health. And I haven't been sick since, right? So it's just really feeling it deep down in your spirit. But if you don't feel it right away, that's okay, because it takes time for it to really sink down deep. But at the beginning, we're just training our subconscious mind. So you can't just stop thinking a negative thought, right? You have to replace it with something. And that's why Abraham says go general, because as you go general, you can move towards positive thoughts with more ease. If you're feeling really terrible, the last thing that feels natural to do is I am wonderful. But if you work yourself up to it and remind yourself how important your emotional guidance system is, that contrast, as Abraham would say, or negative circumstances that happen, when we see those and recognize those, that's okay. It's data. And we can say to ourselves, well, I'm an unconditional lover, so there's something here for me to focus on, and I don't have to focus on this exactly as it is per se. So I get to focus how I want. And you always have a choice with how you focus. You always have a choice of what you think. Sometimes we get lazy, and Abraham will call it sloppy thinking, right? And we just don't, focus in a way that's the most beneficial for us. But when we are focused in a way that doesn't feel good, then there's another benefit of that as well. It's more sorting and sifting, right? You're pulling the rubber band back further. So when you snap back, boy, do you feel good when you snap back, right? When you snap forward to feeling better and feeling more of what you want. And remember, above all, that our imagination is the real place, right? Our imagination is the true place. So spend more time there. Spend more time there imagining what you want. And I love what Abraham says about that. Talk only about what you want. Talk only about what you want. Talk only about what you want. Think only about what you want. Think only about what you want. Think only about what you want. And of course, we are human. We are in this human body having these human experiences. We will get knee-jerk reactions to things. But again, that's expansion. It's just more information. And what we do with it is what matters most. What happens next is what matters most. So those are 3 topics today. Just a little kind of fun, connecting them together, having some fun. And I will see you on Wednesday. And we'll do a little meditative moment. So for now, blessings over your day, your week, your month, your year, your hour, your minute, your second. And thanks for enjoying this time with me. And yeah, it's going to be a great week. Blessings over your week. All right, ciao.